It hurts to lose to Man United at home. Like, I think this is the first time we've lost in the last 9, 10 years. Yeah, but I'm here to talk about, to give you a realistic outcome of what I saw. I saw the game again pretty intricately. I thought Liverpool weren't really that bad because the pace of the game was as such that we couldn't really find out who was playing that good. But when you watch the game again, you get to see a couple of good moments in the game too, right? We'll get to the clips. Before we start, let me just show you what the attacking momentum was like, right? Liverpool is on top and United is on the bottom. United's approach in the first 10, 15 minutes was all about pressing, like closing the right angles and applying the right pressures, and they did a phenomenal job with that. Even with the rotation at times, in the first 25, 30 minutes, they looked in a better pole position than Liverpool. I wouldn't deny that. In the first half, I would say that. But Liverpool had a couple of good opportunities, in fact. We did open them up on a couple of occasions, and the graph and the stats will support Liverpool with that, right? 2.75 against a 1.34 is double the amount of chances that Liverpool had in hand, almost. Big chances, I thought Liverpool had better than them for sure. But okay, I'll take this 5 out of 5, and total shots were 19, So Liverpool had a lot of chances and we just couldn't put them to bed, right? That's where we really lost the game. But if we come down to the first clip, right, the frame from the 54th second, Van Dijk stepped ahead and you can clearly see that McAllister went down to the ground. Coming together, a clash of heads, and I think Van Dijk was at mistake here. Onslaught and the presser did comment that they should have stopped the game there and then. To which I don't really agree. I think Liverpool should have avoided that situation. Clearly, I think McAllister going down is unfortunate, but if it was us in their feet, I think we would have not accepted the same. So I think we should keep it fair when it comes to an assessment of sorts. See, Bruno won the ball right here, right, and Van Dijk was in this position, right, and there was ample space at the back, right. We can clearly see there was a lot of space here, and we have Konate right here. Cook is already gearing himself up. And here it is. Amad Diallo again got the ball. You can clearly see that Amad had the idea that he wanted to lay a pass of the sort, just to find a through somehow for Mbeumo, who was looking to attack the spaces, right? And you can see a Van Dijk as well was retracting back, trying to recover the ball. But at the same time, and Konate, of course, he in the next sequence you'll see he was making a run here. So all was well at this in this moment, right? And in the next, you can clearly see that Van Dijk is in tandem. He's at par. He's in par with Mbeumo, and Konate is trying to look out for the space, and Van Dijk was busy looking at Amad Diallo. Kokes in this moment was still backpedaling, and this is where he should have actually stopped him, right? This is the right moment because you have three players. You have three players. You have a Gakpo, you have a Van Dijk, you have a Konate, and I thought in this situation, this is the first minute, and Liverpool were exposed. This was the worst situation for Liverpool they could have come across, and he played a brilliant pass, right, on for Mbeumo. And Konate in this situation, again we'll come to him, but Van Dijk clearly missed him, couldn't track him, right? He clearly missed him, and Mbeumo was clear he's making a run. He found that right space, and we all know what happened next. But I still felt in this moment, if you go back to the slide and see that Konate could have actually played him off. They could have laid an offside trap, right? Too harsh, but this is what the best of teams can do. This is completely a training ground routine. Van Dijk and Konate, you can clearly see and sense they lack the chemistry. Again, not blaming Konate entirely, but this is an option, an opportunity that they could have taken, right? And the next thing that we know, he scored a brilliant goal from here. Of course, Konate in the situation. Yeah, tried intercepting, but he couldn't do it. Perkez to be blamed, Van Dijk to be blamed, not Konate, right? And this is what happened. They broke our momentum, and from there on, they were pressing really well. And then there's another sequence right here where Liverpool on possession. Look at the amount of space. Just look at this. Right, there's a lot of space here. You can clearly see that Gravenberg was looking out for Isak and Salah at the same time, right? In this moment, usually a Liverpool which is confident would play the ball long, right? But guess what? Right, Gravenberg did not do it. They were trying to make a run. They were ready to make a run. And throughout the game, I've noticed this pattern that Liverpool were falling, wanting to come short and take the pass and not make the runs. So the players, so was like Isak, Salah, right? Gakpo, I think he tried his level best. I'm not going to blame him for what went down. In fact, I think intricately, if you see the game in many sequences, he did connect well. He did make a lot of underlaps and overlaps. He tried his level best against that low block, which came later on. But United were also very organized in the first 20, 25 minutes. And the next thing you know is, see, in this moment, you think Gravenberg is actually going to deliver a proper in behind pass, right? The next thing that you know is he's actually back. He back passed it. He back passed it, and this is what really happened on reckless occasions. On many occasions, this wasn't the first time that this happened, right? And then Van Dijk passes it back to Gravenberch again, and Gravenberch overhits it, right? So Ryan overhit the pass, and this is something which was a part of Liverpool's regimen altogether. It was like that a lot like that. And there's another sequence where you can see that Amad Diallo is getting the ball. Matheus Cunha played him long. And it was a moment where, again, you can clearly see how exposed Liverpool were, vis-a-vis how defensively uh, sorted United looked. You know, this is what the problem is with Liverpool. We are cautious. We take a lot of time on the ball. We are not confident enough as a team right now. You can clearly see that. When you notice moments, when you try to analyze games, you get to see all this. Right now, Kirk is trying to, again, make a recovery run. Amad Diallo is clearly on the ball. Right. And the next thing that you know is that Kirkes is still trying to backpedal, being cautious, does not want to go toe to toe, doesn't want to lose his runner. Right. Mbeumo is on Van Dijk, Konate is free, and you see McAllister making a run, Gravenberch making a run to the back. And McAllister, I don't know why was he drawn in so deep. There are three players on, including McAllister on Amad Diallo. Bruno's quick enough to make a run in these spaces right here, and yeah, this is what happened. And then the next thing that you know is, he was about to launch. He took a shot, and they missed it. So Liverpool could have been 2-1, 2-0 down in this moment. And I'm not denying the fact that we did not create opportunities. We did create opportunities, but we cannot take this away from United. They won the game, right? They deserve the credit. Do I feel like we should have lost it? No, we had plenty of opportunities. I think Liverpool should have, in fact, scored many goals. We had many chances. Isak missing a lot. Gakpo missing a lot. Um, and another dimension to the game, right? I felt Konate was really good today. Konate was extremely good. He found the right passes. Here you can clearly see Soboslai came in deep. And I think the connection that Konate and Soboslai were trying to implicate on the pitch, I think it was visible, right? And you can clearly see there's a lot of space in behind Soboslai, and this is actually the right way of playing, right? This is the right way of playing. He knew what he was doing, right? United were getting drawn into. And then you can clearly see he takes a turn, and then you see that a Gakpo and a Salah are on the verge of making a run. And even if you notice, look at Isak, right? On a consistent basis, Isak off the ball was just trying to draw the defenders in because United was on such a low block, persisting on a high line, but in cohesion, right? So they had numbers at the back and they were quick enough to actually recover the ball too. So the next thing that you know is Soboslai passed the ball to McAllister. Now, this is the in-game decision making where Liverpool were going entirely wrong, right? And something which I don't really agree with. Now, McAllister's looking in this spot right here, right? And Delit is right here too. And I think Delit was really brave in what he did. This is what Liverpool lacked. And Liverpool would have backpedaled again. I don't know why we've been so cautious this season. We've been on the back foot. And the next thing you know is he's about to take a shot. But time and time again, throughout the game, Konate was finding the attackers. Here you can see Isak made a proper run in behind, right? And behind Luke Shaw, right? And the next thing you know, he got clear. He was clear, right? And you would think that he would actually hit the far post, but he actually struck right at the keeper. And Lamens had a brilliant save, to be honest. Liverpool had a lot of chances, right? And then you can clearly see this is what the problem is: in-game decision making, not clinical enough, And Salah had a stinker of a game, right? Absolute abysmal. He was so poor on the ball. Next goal. Next goal against the run of play, Bruno Fernandes plays it short to Mbeumo. Even in this situation, no one is marking him. In fact, Salah neared him the moment he was about to take a shot, and he took a shot. And the next thing is now in this situation, right? I'm going to draw a line right here. Look at this, okay? Now Liverpool are deep, right? This is how they should be. They are deep. They're sitting deep, right? ESI is about to block the shot, right? He blocks the shot. Now, look at this, right? Just look at this. He blocks the shot, right? The ball is in the air, right? He blocks the shot. And look at the defense. Okay, the defense is still okay, right? So it's like Konate, Van Dijk, they're all there. Maguire is there, Delit, and Dorgu, right? They're in sync, right? They're locked in, right? They know there might be a moment where they might get another hit from outside the box. Maybe Bruno might take it or whatever. And without realizing what they're doing, right? Look at this. Now look at the positions of all the Liverpool players. Gakpo, Szoboszlai, Konate is still at the back. But look at their body movement. It does depict that they were on the run. They're thinking that this is the chance that we might have to trigger a transition to counter it. Not really thinking what Roy Keane said in the post presser. Not really paying heed to the fact that we could have actually just gone for a draw, right? Because United were equally ferocious, as good as Liverpool were with the chances, right? None of them dominated. There was no absolute control. This is that chance. This is that opportunity. These are the narrow margins which depict what really happens in such crunch fixtures. And next thing you know, Bruno delivered a cross inside the box, and look at the positions there now, right? Gakpo's forward, you have Dogo who's clear, you have Delit, you have Maguire right here, and Szoboszlai is trying to mark him, right? And Maguire, again right here, clear. Szoboszlai is ahead because they were going to trigger a transition apparently, right? So 3v1. 3v1, man. 3 attackers, 1 defender, and Konate is right here, right? And Konate misread the situation. It was too quick for him to judge that the ball might just land deeper. He took a leap, and look at this. Dorgu, Delit, and Maguire together. The power of the trio. And they scored a goal from that, right? And the next thing you know, again, a Frimpong on 2 occasions. What this guy did in 10 minutes in 2 attacking transitions. Salah couldn't do that. Conor Bradley couldn't do that, right? Now you can clearly see this is one opportunity we could have leveled again. We missed it, right? Gakpo took a leap, right? And the ball, he went for the near post, and unfortunately it went out. And the keeper was nowhere near. I'm going to actually zoom it in for you. The keeper was nowhere near. Look at the amount of space, yeah? Look at the amount of space. Look at the amount of space. This is the amount of space that he could have actually put the ball in. He missed his sitter, right? But he doesn't really deserve the blame. I think lack of creativity, lack of confidence. Liverpool, to be honest, did not look like the Liverpool that we know of. But coming back from a horrendous run of fixtures, I think the performance was still on par, right? The performance was on par. It has to be on the players. We should have finished our chances. We should have won the game. We could have won the game. Isak from outside the box. Gakpo hit the woodwork thrice, and Gakpo missed a header. You tell me how many opportunities these are. 5 big chances. We should have converted at least 3 or 2 out of that. Which is why I do feel that, okay, United won the game, but in all honesty, I thought this wasn't a very convincing win, right? It was a win of narrow margins. And again, I'm not taking the shine away from United or their fan base, but this is what it is, right? This is the reality.